Hello, warriors. Welcome to the U movement. I am B. And we are moving into some full moon energy. I don't know if you've been feeling it. How that works is usually for about 3 days before the full moon and 3 days after the full moon. We have some intense energies. And if you're sensitive like me, you might be feeling it as well. Before I get into the main topic of what I'm going to talk about today, I want to do a few shout outs. I don't normally do announcements at the beginning. Maybe I should start because I do know some people watch the beginning and then they don't watch the whole video, and that's fine. Everybody's going to watch and take what they need and get the messages that they need, and I have trust and faith in that the right people get the right messages at the right time because that's what Spirit told me and I believe it. So some shout outs, okay? First, I wanted to do a shout out to Jessica. Thank you, who arranged and provided me with one of those funky QR codes. So as I'm building my website, I've inputted in there, and now I have it should I ever go about getting business cards, which I have thought about. It was actually funny because I thought, business cards are really quite a waste of paper, and I don't like to waste paper. So I thought it would be really funny, since it was called the Unfuckening Movement, to put business cards on condoms. I thought that would be funny, But, not everybody has my sense of humor. But, if we're going to unfuck the world and everybody... and then you get into the depth of spiritual awakening and everybody goes celibate for a while. So everybody's unfucking anyways. Nobody's getting fucked around these parts. So anyways, that went off to the side there, but and Jessica, thank you for providing me with the QR code. I am very, very grateful for that. I love people that are reaching out and saying, hey, I want to help out and I want to collaborate and I want to do this or that. That's wonderful. My second shout out is a massive thank you to Amy for nominating me for a TED Talk. I think that's the coolest thing ever. It's taken me a couple days to wrap my head around the magnitude of this. And listen, even if nothing comes of it, as I said, that's bigger than anything I've ever, when it comes to support, the support that I'm getting is, it breaks your mind, because when I was living in total isolation, completely run down and shut down and cut off from the world, 6 years ago. And now I have this huge community that's growing and growing and growing, and people are pitching in and people are supporting and people are rallying. And I'm it blows my mind. So to have somebody recognize in me, see me, hello, actually see me, because I was unseen for 48 years. I went completely unseen, unheard, unrespected, and, unappreciated. So to be in the opposing energies of that now is it's literally Alice in Wonderland who goes into Wonderland. I am in Wonderland now. And it is wonderful, also scary, and also what the fuck is happening? It's so confusing to my old ego, which has had to collapse and crumble so many times through this journey. Those that have watched a lot of my videos, you look back at my earlier videos when I first started, or my videos when I was in Dark Night of the Soul, and my everything has changed. My look has changed. My voice has changed. My messages are clearer. The channeling is stronger. It's so dramatically different. It seriously, sometimes I feel like I'm living in a science fiction movie now. So spiritual awakenings are all kinds of cuckoo. And to be nominated, to be seen and to be nominated for a TED Talk, it is seriously, I'm hearing the soundtrack of the Twilight Zone going now. I just need some dude to voice over. Now, B is going in a completely new paradigm and dimension. Like, what? Because that's what it is. So thank you, and thank you for the nomination. I like incredibly just overjoyed with that. And thank you to everybody that likes, follows, subscribes, shares my content with their communities, recognizes in me that I have something to give to the world, and my messages are useful, and the commentary that I get back is really incredible. So, thank you, and thank you, everybody, for seeing me. Announcement number 3, tomorrow night for the full moon, so that's tomorrow, Saturday, April, whatever we are at. I'm losing track now of numbers, because everything, there's no such thing as schedules or numbers. I just know what's happening by what's happening in the sky. Night, day, I don't know. I sleep when I'm able to sleep, which was today, because last night there was no sleep to be had. So be aware that on an awakening, schedules get like ripped up into a ball and like thrown out. Spirit's like, I don't care about your human matrix. I'm going to just have you awake when you're awake, and I'm going to have you asleep when you're asleep, and I'm going to have you cranky when you're cranky, and I'm going to have you in a good vibe, a high vibe, and I don't like using high, but I mean like vibrational frequency, in a more energized state when I want you to. You surrender, and surrender some more. So on the topic of surrendering into our emotions and moving through all of these emotional purges that are a necessary part of this process, tomorrow night, Saturday night, full moon at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am hosting our dance off the emotions. Dance it out. Ooh, dance it out. So we're going to start with like a really kind of like morose vibe, like, and then, so it's like ecstatic dance, but on steroids. And then we're going to move up to some like angrier music to get the anger out. And then we're going to move into some more like higher vibrational, empowering, I can do it, I am woman, hear me roar kind of music. And then move into really subtle kind of, so I had fun creating this playlist, because music is my jam. I love my music, and I listen to everything from spiritual chant music all the way into like a heavy metal. No country though, okay? That's a no. Nobody needs to listen to that. Sorry if you're a country fan, but I am not. Who knows? I say that now, and maybe Spirit's going to have me doing hoedowns in the next 5 years. Who knows? Because I never used to listen to death metal, but the other week, about a week or so ago, I was feeling really agitated. The energy that was coming into me was like this massive agitated energy, and I was like, I'm going to listen to some death metal. So that was new. Because I want to help facilitate the energy that comes in, get out of me as quickly as possible, without judgment, whatever that energy is, which brings us kind of into where we are going in this conversation. But yes, if you want to join the dance-off, the way to do that is to send me off an email or to DM me on Facebook, and I'll send you off the links. Okay. So, I'm kindly requesting an $11.11 donation, my 1111, for those that participate in the dance off, for, my time and what I'm bringing, and, I need to live. So I really greatly appreciate that, those that come in. And if you don't already know that we have our Spiritual Warrior Support Group Zoom meetings that are on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as Sundays at 11:11 a.m. In the morning. And again, for those, I kindly request an $11.11 donation. For attendance. That being said, if you are flat broke, living in your car, and you want the support, please just DM me. It's a donation. It's not a mandatory, but, again, I do greatly appreciate it, because it's keeping me alive. And if I wasn't alive, then I wouldn't be able to do these funky videos that you like so much. So on the topic of energies that come in and energies go out, I've talked a lot in many of my videos about all our inner me's, what I call my inner me's. And when I say me's, I in my mind's eye visualize it spelled like M-I-I. You know, like the we used to make these little caricatures that you could make of yourself. And so we all have lots of little me's. And my little me kingdom sometimes it is running a little bit amok. We want our little me's to all be kind of listening to higher self. We want to put higher self or soul at the top of the structure of all our me's to keep ourselves in line. Otherwise, some of our little me's can run amok. They can get into some put us in some pretty difficult situations. And so the concept of little me's is based upon the teachings of archetypes. And each archetype has a different energy. So if you want to learn more about archetypes, this is born of Carl Jung's teaching. That's Jung with the J. Look at me with my sign language. Yes, Jung with the J. And one teacher that I think is one of the most phenomenal teachers out there when it comes to spiritual truths is the teachings of Carolyn Myss. She has written multitude of books. I think I've read every single one of her books, and a shout out to her for being one of the biggest teachers for me over the last 30 years. Two books in particular I want to talk about are Soul Contracts is a very good book, but the book that had changed my life more times, and I've bought so many copies of this book for people, is The Anatomy of the Spirit. You want to get a basic understanding of the chakra system and what's going on in there. You want to read Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Myss. But back into the first book that I talked to, actually, I'm going to mention a third book because I think it's very relevant for my community, which is How People Can Heal and Why They Don't. And that is a very useful book because that deals with people holding on to labels of things. So I guess I'm going to just veer there for a second because as somebody who is trained in addictions counseling, so back in the 90s, yep, I'm that old. Back in the 90s, I went to Sault College in Sault Ste. Marie, Canada, Northern Ontario, and studied addictions counseling through the perspective, the lens of a Native community worker. So it was slanted very heavily by the teachings of the elders, which is where I first learned about the teachings of the medicine wheel, and it was an incredible course. I really found the course material very interesting, and I was thriving in the course, and because it was the first thing that was starting to give me real tools on how to get myself out of my own suffering and get a greater degree of awareness of things. Now, back then, it wasn't as much trauma informed as we are now. We're very lucky where we are now in society, because we're on this precipice, this tipping point of more and more becoming trauma informed as the root cause of addictions. And so if you didn't know, there's actually 12 different theories of addiction, and AA is only one of them. And so I want to reframe some of the way we look at labels and fixing labels upon ourselves, because one of the things, the stumbling blocks as you go through your own awakening journey is these labels that you have defined yourself as, and you're like, that's it, that's who I am, that's who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I'm never going to change. There's no hope. So you go to a doctor and you get a diagnosis. You go to a group meeting and you get like an identity as, a survivor of whatever you've survived. Yeah. You go to an AA meeting and you get labeled with like alcoholic. So there is a place for all of these meetings, but in an awakening, what happens is you're forced to look and address some of the labels that you affix to yourself. And of those labels, you know, if you call yourself an alcoholic, even though you haven't had a drink in the last 20 years, according to the philosophy of AA, that's it, you're forever an alcoholic. And what Carolyn Myss introduces in this teaching is to be careful not to hold on to something that you have actually healed and moved out of. You know, you can, by using the word alcoholic, or using the word, depressed, or using the word, whatever it is, the label that you have placed upon yourself, there becomes a kind of energy of resignation, like that's what I am and that's what I'll always be, as opposed to understanding that anything can be healed and you can move past it. Once you've received a diagnosis, that doesn't mean that's a life sentence. So you can work, and I apologize for the barking, but you can work your way towards letting go of that diagnosis and becoming something new, becoming something different. Look, I'm a totally different human being. As I said at the beginning of this video, I don't look the same, I don't talk the same, and I'm not the same. So yes, I used to drink, and now I'm a non-drinker. That is the label that I use. I don't call myself an addict. I don't call myself, an alcoholic. I never called myself an alcoholic, in fact, even though some people by definition might have said, well, yeah, you are because you binge drink. And yes, I used to binge drink, but now I don't drink. So I'm a non-drinker. I'm a non-smoker. Those are the labels that I use, because I'm not going to hold on to the identity of addict. That's not what I am anymore. So I'm letting these things go as we process through our awakening and we heal stuff. We no longer need to hold on to things, and so I'm looking at labels a lot right now. And so even things like survivor of child abuse or survivor of sexual assault, I don't want to hold on to those names because it's holding me in the past. It's holding me attached to a negative situation that I want to cut the cord of and be free of, because, well, my name's Be Freedom now after I changed it, because the old name used to send shivers down my spine, so please don't ever call me that. I go by Be Freedom, and that is who I prefer to be called. It resonates with me for a multitude of reasons. But anyways, because even that was a label. Having that name kept me attached to a family dynamic that I don't feel any connection to. I've clipped that too. And I'm not the person I once was, so using her name doesn't resonate with me as mine at all, because she had those problems. I don't. I'm B. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I'm no longer codependent. So I'm not going to hold on to that either, going, well, once a codependent, always a codependent. Hell to the fuck no. I'm an independent. So I've relabeled myself as independent, and I'm quite happy in that energy. And a lot of the energies that I would have once identified myself as, especially in regards to diagnoses. I am certainly not agoraphobic. I never was. I told them to do that with that diagnosis. What I was severely wounded and traumatized from being abused for a very long period of time. And so that's a no. I'm not holding on to that label. I'm not holding on to major depressive disorder because I'm not majorly depressed. I do have times where I feel low, and those times are like natural part of the processes of purging the emotions that need to go. I'm purging, I'm getting rid of this stuff. It's like one of those, you're selling your house and everything's got to go. So I'm selling what's inside of here that other people diagnosed me with or told me I was. Names that people called you. I was always known as the failure or the fuck up. or the black sheep. I'm not a black sheep anymore. And if I am, then I'm in a sea of other black sheep, and we got a tribe. So I'm not that. And I don't even want to take hold thoroughly. You know, I hold it gently in my hand, this term of autism, because I don't completely resonate with it as a disorder. I don't. So my definition of autism is not going to be the same. Yes, I do many things and have many traits that would fall into the category of autistic. And I can see that those are traits that I have, but I am not disordered. And I don't believe any autistic person is disordered. I actually believe that they're an upgrade, and their heightened sensitivities are exactly what we need to build the new earth. So I look at that through the lens of spirituality and say, okay, wait, these aren't disordered people. These people are light workers, starseeds, empaths, indigo children, blue-ray starseeds. All of these is what they are, and they're here to build the age of Aquarius. So all of those skills and all of those gifts and all of those traits that were once frowned upon, and stop doing that. Stop daydreaming. Stop with your, insane justice. I can't stop. If I see somebody being bullied, I'm gonna be like Scrappy Doo, and I don't tolerate that shit no more. And another one, like stimming. I stim. You don't like it? I don't care. Not my problem if you don't like it. Info dump. Okay, my info dumping is what's getting me people who are watching my channel. So if I didn't have the capacity to have my insane obsession with health and wellness and the chakra system and addictions and trauma, I eat that stuff up. That is my jam. So if I didn't have that, then I wouldn't be doing this. So the things that we were once told were wrong, negative, too much, too little, should do this, should do that. All of those things just means nothing to me. It's like I've taken the whiteboard and I've cleaned it off, and I've said, I am not going to be defined by anybody else. If you don't like me, if you don't resonate with me, and if you don't understand me, and if you don't approve of me, that's none of my business. But that doesn't give you the right to label me. I'm going to label myself as what I'm going to do. And on the topic of labeling, which is where I first kind of started, I was talking about archetypes, is one of the most useful tools in my 30 years in and out of different counselors' offices. And I've had every type of counseling under the sun. A large majority of it was a massive waste of time. Because talking about stuff without giving you tools and techniques and strategies on how to actually do something about it, I found to be quite useless. It really just was a massive uselessness. I could go in and I could talk about my mother to no good end and never fixed anything, did it? I never said, you really should create healthier boundaries, and this is how you do that, and maybe you should cut her off. Those would have been practical tools that I could have used, but I didn't get those tools. Instead, I just got somebody, so yeah, if you ever just FYI book a one-on-one with me, I don't sit there and just go, I'm going to be blunt, to the point, and get to whatever you want to talk about. It's you get to lead it. I don't ask probing questions. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not going to sit there and ask you about your childhood unless it's relevant to the conversation that you have brought up and you are bringing to me and you want to address. And then I just want to know your concerns, and then from your concerns, I'm going to intuitively be guided with the 30 years of information that I have to give you actual practical tools, tips, and strategies to make change, to make profound change. Look what I did. I made a lot of fucking change in my life. I made a lot of change because I didn't hold on to labels. I let those labels go. I'm not going to be an obese person. I let that label go. I'm not going to be a diabetic. I let that label go. I'm not going to be anything else of the labels. So do be careful of how you label yourself. Listen to how you label yourself, and don't take ownership of other people's definitions, diagnoses, and interpretations of who they think you are. This is the love the fuck out of yourself movement, the you movement, which means you get to define who you are. And as soon as you define yourself as something else, as able, as capable, as loving, as kind, as whatever it is that you are in the opposing energy of, then you have the power. You got the power to shift your reality dramatically. Look at all of the stuff that I healed. Look at all of the stuff that I let go of. Look at all of the stuff I walked away from. And it's a constant process of healing more and more and more and more. So back to the tool that I wanted to share on this particular video was I went to somatic counseling for a period of time. Now this, I give like 10 thumbs up if I had 10 thumbs, because when it came to counseling, this particular counseling was the most profound and useful counseling that I had. So if you can find somebody in your area that does somatic counseling because you're looking for a new therapist, I highly, highly recommend it. Very highly recommend it. And he kind of introduced and sparked in me some ideas in regards to, integrated family systems, or the archetypes of understanding these little me's that are in you, these energies that are in you. We're not just one thing all of the time, we live our lives, and then, with our families, we might put on a certain face, a certain mask, especially if you're autistic like me, I had different masks I wore in different environments. I had my party girl mask. I had my with my mother mask. I am fine. Nothing to see here. I am a gray stone. And then the party girl would be like, woot, woot. Like she'd be Girls Gone Wild back in the day. But I'm not a party girl anymore, so I have to put that label down, So we started talking more and more about some of the energies that I identified with. And me being very artistic, so there's a label, artist. I'm still going to keep that label. I like that one. So I'm going to keep the artist label. And we started, he gave me an assignment to go home and just kind of like think about, list out. And then me being me, I was like, ooh, this sounds like an art project. Because if somebody gives me an assignment, I'm doing spreadsheets and graphs and like artistic interpretations of it. Might come in with some paper mache. Actually, I never did that, but that would be cool. This is my little me in paper mache version. What I did do was the birthplace of my own personal oracle deck. So this is the deck. He gave me this assignment, go identify with some of your inner me's. And through the teachings of Carolyn Myss, which I already understood all of the archetypes, because there's a long list in there, I sat in it for a while. And so here, on the cover, we have the bitch. That's me. That's a picture of me. That was age 22, just after my first marriage collapsed. And I was a bitch. I gotta own it. I was a total bitch. And the inner bitch has been coming out a little bit in the last couple days. I've been like, oh wow, I'm really quite snarky at the moment. And I don't repress my bitch, I don't repress her. I don't let her run the show, right? So I've talked in other videos about how I see it as like, you got a bus, okay? You got a big, huge, old style, schoolyard bus, one of those big yellow buses, right? You want your driver of your bus to be your soul or your higher self. And then in the passenger seat beside it, holding the map, you might want your ego. We don't want to get rid of our ego. Our ego has a very, our ego is what stands up for self, and our ego is what's trying to help direct things. But you don't want ego driving the bus. You want ego in the passenger seat, holding the map and making recommendations. You might want to think about turning left here, and then higher self goes, thanks for the input, ego, but I have information that you don't, so I'm going to go straight. That's where I'm going to go, and ego's going to go, because ego's got a little bit of an attitude. I visualize my ego to be like Loki in the Avengers, a little bit power hungry and a little bit mad. I also at times have visualized my ego to be like Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man. In Ghostbusters, that's run amok and is like, oh, boom, boom. And so through my awakening, it has required a lot of burning that shit down to get him down to size, because he was massive in that movie, absolutely massive. That was my ego. I can control everything's fine. We don't want that. And then in the back of the bus, we have all of our me's. And these are all of my me's. So just to give you an idea, well, we all have a victim. Here's my, so I just, I was pulling pictures off the internet to give me a vibe of it. And here's my inner victim that's been totally fucking picked apart and had to free herself from all of these binds that once held her trapped into absolute bullshittery. A couple others. We've got the medicine woman. Yes, this is definitely an archetype that resonates with me. We've got the grief-stricken. Well, fuck me, did I not spend about 3 solid years in grief after my Kundalini awakening. That was a difficult one. I mentioned before, the scapegoat. Oh, no, that was the black sheep that I mentioned. Scapegoat. So this is a little project for those artistic people that are out there that you might want to do. And you want to think about. So I'm just going to show a couple more. The inventor, sorry. I'll give some negative ones. Miss High and Mighty. Okay. Yeah. There are times that I think I know better than people. And I have to keep myself in check. So let's say we're driving the bus and little Miss Know-It-All, Miss High and Mighty comes up and she's like, she wants to jump in and give judgment. Now, judgment has played out a huge amount in my life because I was raised by a very judgmental person. In fact, this could be my mother. It's not, but it could be, because that was definitely the energy. Judgmental, a bully. And so I absorbed that archetype. I learned that archetype by being in that energy. And so when we see something in somebody else that we don't like, understand that in some form we are mirroring that energy. So I absorb that energy, and I have to be in my observer to know when it comes out and to know when to shut it down. Because if Miss Know-It-All was driving, Miss High and Mighty was driving the bus, then she would lead me into situations where I would irritate people, and that's happened many times in my life. I'd been like, well, I can see that you're having a problem with XYZ, and what you should do is do. And they're like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, but I know. But I know what's going to cure you. But I know what's going to save you. But I know what's going to help you. And they're like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I'd be like, my smoke would be blowing out of my ears, dealing with friends that were, in toxic marriages. And every single time they talk to me, they tell me about their abusive husband. And I'm like, you have to leave. You have to leave. You have to leave. And I'm like, I have to shut that down sometimes because they're not there yet. They're not, or dealing with some people who have addictions is incredibly difficult. It's the hardest thing ever. it's the hardest thing ever, because I want to make graphs and like strategies, and I want to like micromanage and plan out their healing, and it's not my job. It's not my job. As a medicine woman, which I showed before, or a wounded healer, which is another archetype that plays in, it's my job to be there for people who come to me, not for me to like jump down the throats of other people that aren't there yet. You can, as the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And you can't heal anybody. You are not responsible for anybody. You can't manage other people's emotions, even though as an empath you certainly try. And that goes part into the codependent archetype of being enmeshed into other people, to the point where you think that you are responsible for their healing, their emotions, their well-being, their everything. And what you learn as you do your own healing work, as the medicine woman is turned in on herself, and she heals herself, because that's mission 1, heal thyself. When it's turned in on herself, she recognizes, okay, you need to use those skills of knowing things to fix you. And so the know-it-all has lots of tools, and the know-it-all has to look at self and say, okay, what am I not doing here? Because I'm getting myself emotionally dysregulated because they're drinking, or they're doing drugs, or they're doing whatever they're doing. And you have to go, oh, I need greater boundaries. I need to take a step back. I need to work on self a little bit and regulate my own emotions, because that is what I'm responsible for, is regulating my own emotions. So with these energies, there's certain energies that we all have, and I've said this in other videos. We all have 4. So of those 4, we all have a wounded child, and the wounded child, or inner child, the inner child is divided into multiple other variants of that, because it could be the abandoned child, the wounded child, the lost child. Here's an example of my lost child that I've been working very diligently on saving over the last 3 years. This is my sense of humor. That's where this comes from. It comes from her. She was just, that is me at age 3. And she was lost, because after she got adopted, she had to hide in the shadows for a long period of time, because it wasn't safe for her to come out and be her goofy, silly self. And so I'm loving the fact that the more healing work that I have done, the more I'm integrating her back into my heart space, because I love this little girl with all of my heart. But she got replaced with the wounded child, is what came out. And so the wounded child then goes and seeks ways in life to cope, to manage, and so my wounded child driving my bus. Well, you never want a child driving a bus, but oftentimes that's exactly what you see. You see somebody acting out in a way, and you're like, oh my God, they're acting so childish. That's their wounded child driving their bus. When you see them in a store and they have a temper tantrum and they throw down a grocery because the store clerk didn't get them the proper product in time, or whatever it is, and they're like, well, damn you, if you can't give me what I want, do you know who I am? I'm out of the store. So yeah, temper tantrums galore. Look at politicians. There you often see them in their wounded child coming on out. So we all have a child, an inner child, or many. We all have a victim, as I showed you the card before. Listen, we have all been victimized in this life. That is without question. You cannot get through this thing called life in human form on planet Earth without experiencing some sort of victimization. And you don't want your victim driving your bus, because then it turns into like almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. where you bring in more energies that's going to be continually victimizing oneself over and over again until we learn to stand in our power, to stand up and become the survivor, become the warrior, you know. So the victim is the birthplace of the warrior that steps forth and says, I'm not going to take this anymore. I am done being yelled at. I am done being hit. I am done being manipulated, because before you're in the victim of like, there's nothing I can do. I just better tolerate it. You know, so we don't want our victim driving the bus, but we want our victim to inspire. Our victimization that has occurred inspires us to stand in our power. And once there, the shadow energy of the victim turns into the light energy of the victim, which becomes the advocate for other victims. So I wouldn't be sitting in front of a camera doing these videos if I knew nothing about narcissism. I would have never been brought here. But because I was in the victim, I have a whole bunch of knowledge and experience that means I can transmute that into the advocate or the teacher or the guide to assist others get out of that energy and flip victim from in its shadow element into its light element, which is how we transmute energy. We take something from shadow and we move it into the light. So the two other energies that we all have is the prostitute is one. And our prostitute is how we relate to money and our connection and how we go out in the world and what we negotiate ourselves for, how much we value ourselves. And so in shadow, the prostitute might not value herself at all. And she might sell herself for like dirt cheap. And she might take on really shitty jobs and think, you know, I'm not worth anymore. I'm just going to take this like part-time crappy job that they yell at me and you know, and when she transmutes that energy into the hell no, I'm a high class madam and I'm worth more and I deserve more, is when she, you know, rewrites the resume and starts putting it out there, or builds a business, or says, you know, I've seen how maybe she too becomes an advocate of sorts, and she says, listen, you know, I went from being homeless, I went from being destitute, I went from being, you know, in really crappy situations when it came to money, a lot of debt, and I flipped that into being, you know, I'm a teacher and I'm an advocate for people to become empowered, especially women, you know, to become empowered and learn how to manage their money better. And look at me now, I took a business course and now I'm effectively teaching other people, and I'm charging this much per hour because I'm worth it, and I have things that I'm worth. So sorry, dog is barking, but I wanted to talk about the fourth archetype that we all have, every single person on the planet, which is the saboteur. And the saboteur can really run things amok. You certainly don't want your saboteur to come in and be driving your bus, because it'll drive your bus completely into the pond and, you know, burst a tire. And it's when, oh dear. Sorry, my saboteur is my next door neighbor's dog right now. The saboteur is when we don't follow through with things, we procrastinate things, we you know, there's a million and one ways you can sabotage yourself, but the saboteur also is very smart. So to every energy, there's like a shadow element, there's also a light element. And so the light, we want the shadow, we want our saboteur on our bus with us, because it can also identify when other people are trying to sabotage us and give us some information about, you know, like, yo, I got to talk to you. Hey, I got some info down here. I'm going to blow the whistle on this over here, because I'm noticing that seems a little bit off. And you're like, oh, thanks, saboteur. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for seeing. They're blowing away now. Thanks for letting me see what I didn't see. This is just like, I'm not going to go through all of my cards here today. So if this is a project that interests you, and you don't need to do it all artistic like I did, you can just make a list of some of the energies that you identify with. I'll just throw out a couple more in here, which is like the rage. I'm going to own the fact that I have righteous rage inside of me. I danced the majority of that out, to be honest with you. I don't have a lot of it left, but from the time I was 15 to, I don't know, 35-ish, young 30s, I would hit a dance floor every single weekend, multiple times, you know? Like, that's where my rage got danced off, which is why I'm doing the dance off to help us. But, you know, we have to embrace and love all of ourselves. Love the fuck out of ourselves. Love our shadowy elements and love our light. Because I am also light, you know? I am also light. I am a mama bear. And I fight like there's no tomorrow for those that are not being treated well. My sense of right, like justice, when I see somebody else, I'm like, oh no. It took me a while to learn to stand up for myself because I was stuck in my own victim, but I could identify other people being victimized and immediately step into like if somebody came after my son, you know, that did not go well for them. Another one, the rebel, you know, and we all have a little bit of rebel in us, and that's necessary and needed. You can see here at the back of her shirt. Don't fucking touch me. And I'll throw one more out because I like the imagery of this one, the codependent, you know, like intermeshed and mingled with somebody else. But I'm not that anymore. I was that. I'm going to rip that one up because I'm not really going to rip it up because it's my art project, but you know, a lot of these labels and identifiers are not life sentences. It is my point of this entire video, is I wanted to make sure that you understood how archetypes are playing out in your life, how you can use this as a tool and a strategy to have greater self-awareness, greater self-love, greater self-compassion, greater self-forgiveness, greater self-care, all of these types of things to learn to love the fuck out of yourself, all of yourself. I love every single one of these, even my anxious worrier, because man, I felt so sorry for that woman. She worried about everything. Like, I could worry about, if it was an Olympic sport, my worrying, I would have gotten gold every single year. But that is one of my greatest challenges right now that I'm still trying to like process through and heal, because I'm not going to be an anxious worrier next year. I'm not. That's what I'm working on transmuting. I'm working on calming the mind and doing a lot of work with presence and mindfulness and soothing. So to every single one of these, there are healing tools and tips and techniques and things that you can do so that you can transmute the energy and either move it into the light element or like completely clear it out of you. You don't have to be that for the rest of your life. I certainly am no longer resonating with the failure. I just got nominated to do a TED Talk. Like, that is not something a failure could do. That is not at all. So I'm stepping on all my failures and seeing them as wonderful gifts that have each taught me incredible life lessons, especially the lessons of endurance and fortitude. You know, if it wasn't for my failures, I would not be nearly as, you know, I'm going to just keep going. Oh, there's another failure. Pop back up. Like the Chumbawamba song, which is one of my theme songs, is, you know, I fall down, I get back up again. And there may be more failures, but I am not one. There's a difference. So there may be more failures in my future, but I am not one. Certainly not. So that is today's chat on archetypes, labels, and a tool that you can use to help identify the little me's in your village and that are on your bus, and try to figure out who's driving your bus when. Because when, like yesterday, I was like, oh, hello, my inner bitch. You know, I didn't talk to anyone like that. I wasn't bitchy to anyone, but I was like, okay, we're going to sit together and I'm going to listen to what you have to say. She was a little bit, there's a lot of irritation was the vibe yesterday. She was sitting in a lot of irritation. And there's nothing wrong with being irritated. I can be irritated if I want to. I'm not hurting anyone when I'm being irritated. I'm sitting in it, lying in it, being in it, loving it. It's okay to be irritated. It's okay to have rage. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have whatever emotion that you want, because whatever emotion you want is helping you transmute through all of these energies. Okay? So just to end today's video, I would like to propose a collective project. So those that have made it to the end get the final announcement. You're special. I am doing a call out, a shout out to all visual artists. Sorry, not just 3D, 2D. You know, like just paper art or canvas art. It wouldn't work with you know, I can't think of the word right now. Pottery or anything like that. So just your 2D. Artists, visual artists, I am interested in bringing this to life, and bringing this and transmuting it into a whole new thing. So I would like to create my own oracle deck and have a collective of a multitude of artists. If I could have 52, that would be super cool. Each doing art for one of these archetypes, and then we will bring our oracle deck to market, and all benefit from it. So it's a collective project that I think could be really fun for a lot of people to each participate in something and bring something to life. I love creativity. I love creative products. I am an artist. I am a performer. I love those archetypes with me. Wow, we've got this beautiful bird swooping overhead as I say that. It's like soaring. We can soar together. So let's, if you are interested in potentially doing one of the art for these cards, you know, maybe you're inspired by rage and you want to do something rageful. Now, it doesn't have to be people. It can be any kind of art, really. I want to see what your art is and see if it works. Obviously, landscapes aren't really going to be a thing, so that works. But if you do pastels, acrylics, oils, if you do kind of people have seen my art that I do. If you do different style, like really cool and funky, and I want to see it. I want to see it. If you want to create with me and make some honey together as we cross-pollinate. See, my little inner goofy child is coming back, my lost child, because she holds my sense of humor. So if you want to cross-pollinate with B and make an oracle deck, the U movement oracle deck, I don't know if we'll call it that or not. I was kind of thinking of calling it the ego death deck. But anyways, you know, we can collaborate together and build something anew, starting with this one project, because there's many projects up here in my mind that I want to build and create and do and start having some fun in life. Would be great, because awakenings, like, there's not a lot of fun in them. There's a lot of like, oh my God. So yes, let me know. Reach out, DM me or send me off an email. And I'll probably make a group chat on Facebook there. So if you're not already on Facebook, maybe you want to get on Facebook. And then you can also join the Spiritual Warrior Support Group if you're not already in the Spiritual Warrior Support Group. And that's growing like every single day. Like, it's just like, whoa. It's growing fast. I've previously made groups in the past, and they grew pretty fast too. And then I was like, whoa, okay, somebody else can manage this group, because you get to a certain stage and you have to start policing people, and I don't want to police anyone, but I'll just add at the bottom of this, we did have an incident in the group the other day, and that's a no for me. I don't do allow aggressive communication or toxic communication or anything like that in the group. The group is a safe community for traumatized people who are looking for other people to share their troubles, their stories, That's what the group is for. It's a support group. It's not a, anything else group. It's strictly a support group that is a safe community. So I'm just letting all of you know that there are certain rules. Rule number 1 of the group is don't be a dick. Sorry. And if you don't know what dickish behavior is, check out my narcissistic abuse playlist. In fact, check out all of my playlists. I reorganized them this morning, but that is always the best way to navigate through my channel, because I have at this stage over 650 videos. Talk about oversharing. Ha! Talk about a special interest topic. Ha! Yeah, and I can still go. I can see another 650 easily. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of all of the stuff that needs to be said and needs to help transmute, heal, and all the rest. So on the topic of the videos, if you have a question and you want me to make a video on a particular subject or theme or whatever, just ask me. That's how you go about doing that. So send me off an email or DM me and ask me a question, because yes, it's interesting. Is that everything? I'm kind of debating. See, one other label that's not in my deck, that I am now at the stage where I'm like, okay, I'm struggling with this particular label, is the twin flame thing. So although I completely resonate with I met a catalyst. I'm going to start calling it catalyst, because I met a catalyst, and by all intents and purposes, it kind of ticks a lot of the boxes. But at this stage where I'm at in my awakening and my reintegration and my healing journey, I'm not really comfortable using that term, because it's keeping me connected into an energy that where I need to individuate from. It's not serving me anymore. It served me for a while. In fact, it was the most miraculous thing ever that could have happened is that label, and affixing that label on. Because if it wasn't for how I felt, and if it wasn't for those feelings never frickin' going away, I wouldn't have been able to escape from my abusive marriage. And it was the best thing that could have happened to me. It was the absolute best thing that could have happened to me, and I'm forever going to be grateful, and I will forever feel love for what that person did for me. And at the same time, I have been going through my own grieving cycle over the last couple months, because when you have an awakening, so many things are like happening in your life. Like, there's so many things that collapse. It takes you a while afterwards to like integrate everything that happened, because you just don't have the time to process through the job losses, the quitting of all the addictions, the amount of like people that leave your life dramatically and painfully, the tower moments, the collapses, the dark night of the soul, the everything. It's so much. It's just so much that is happening that you don't have time to like integrate it fully. So for me, I feel like that label was very useful in helping me float along as I felt like I was drowning. And it motivated me, and it pushed me, and it did a lot of things for me. But where I am now is a very different energy, especially over the last couple days. Is just like, I don't think it's useful anymore to hold on to that life raft of that label, because I'm on dry land now. And now that I'm on dry land, I can focus on what union means to me. And what union means to me is about union with self and union with God, which is like, I will forever be grateful for that, to have God come back into my life. Well, God was never in my life before, so to have God in my life for the first time is miraculous. So many miracles. Union with Soul Tribe, all of you out there, each and every one of you is a miracle to me. And then finally, union with mission, which is the U movement. And that's where my focus needs to be moving forward. So that's another label I'm going to not hold on to, because holding on to labels can leave you looping and going in directions that you don't want to go. So I am grateful, and I am also letting go, which I think anyone else who's on this journey comes to a place where they naturally have to do that. So I've talked in previous videos, you got to grieve it, because there were all the visions that of what it could have been, and wow, those were beautiful. So you got to grieve the way you thought it was going to go and didn't, and then once you've processed through the grief, you can say, okay, I got to move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and open myself up to whatever the God has to give to me. I am not seeking, searching, or chasing after anything anymore. That's just no. So I'm now open and curious to see what comes, It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it is. So if you need help on the twin flame journey, on identifying your labels, on processing through some of your labels, if in some tools and techniques that you can use to deal with some of these labels, like depressive, then please feel free to reach out and book a one-on-one with me, and we can start doing some serious work. If you're ready to do it and you want me, I'm available. The way to get in touch with me is to send me off an email to justbebeing@gmail.com. That's JUST, the letter B, being@gmail.com, or send me off a DM on Facebook. I also have a Telegram. There's a link somewhere, and I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to working with you, and I look forward to ascending with you, because we all going up together. We a tribe, and that's a damn good thing. So with that all said, thank you, and thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, the supers, the donations, the everything. I am so incredibly grateful. Absolutely, this mission is giving my life meaning, and I seriously, I can't even express. There aren't even enough words to express my gratitude for all of you. That all said, peace in here.